Hello and welcome to this introduction to Overdrive session. This event will focus on the use of Overdrive as an extranet, which enables you to share information with contacts outside your organization. My name is Sean Power, and I also have my colleague Ian Weatherhog with me today. Ian is the Chief Technical Officer for Overdrive and will be helping with any questions raised during the session. If you do have any questions as we go through the session, then please use the chat box in the right-hand side of the screen, and we will answer any questions raised at the end of the session. We will reply directly after the session for those we don't get to answer during the event, but hopefully we will have time to answer everything. So feel free to add any questions when you see fit. The event today will last around 30 minutes and a recording will be made available afterwards, so you can review the information or share with your colleagues after the event. So Overdrive is designed for organizations using G Suite. And this is because it's deeply integrated with G Suite and it lets you create a website or a portal automatically from content held in Drive and elsewhere across G Suite and beyond. With Overdrive, you can create great looking web pages and portals without the need for specialist skills. You simply decide what content you wish to share, choose from a wide range of page types to suit your content and your audience, and then add in your users. You will see how this works in the demonstrations as we go through the event today. Your users will have easy online access to the resources and information that they need. And also, any site created by Overdrive is automatically mobile friendly, so your users can access the site on any device that they choose. A key strength of Overdrive is the range of potential uses available, such as intranets, extranets, which we're talking about today, education portals or event sites, etc. And as you see in the demonstration, a site can be created very quickly, enabling you to share information with people inside or outside the organization as you need. Overdrive is hosted on Google Cloud Platform, and Google uses GCP to host its own well-known services, such as Gmail, Drive, YouTube, Search, etc. And GCP provides global scalability and world-class security for Overdrive, and it allows our team to concentrate on adding new and exciting features to the product. We have Overdrive customers worldwide, and here is a selection from different industries and different locations, and also different uses of Overdrive, as you can see. With some customers, such as Tarmac and Western Homes, we've created customized Overdrive solutions to meet their specific requirements. And Overdrive sites can be made public on request. And a good example of this is UNESCO Sardona, which uses Overdrive to share large quantities of scientific research information. So hopefully that has given you some background information on Overdrive and what it is. And we now have two demonstrations for you to try to bring everything to life. The first is a recorded video of the site creation process. And then I'll show you a few features of Overdrive on a public extranet demonstration site. So first the video.
With Overdrive, you can set up a great looking site in minutes using content from Google Drive. Today I'm going to create an extranet site for my company, Sandford. We're an office furniture company and need to make our product and marketing information available to our distributors, and all without them having to know anything about Google Drive or having a Google account. Overdrive sites are built from Google Drive folders, and for this site I'm going to start with this area, which contains the folders I want to share. The Files folder has subfolders and a variety of file types, as you can see. And in Brochures, there's a Google Doc for every product in the range. Once I've connected Overdrive to Drive, I can use this menu to both create new sites and jump across to existing ones. I'm going to sign in using my Google account, but in a minute I'll configure the site to allow my users to sign in using other methods. This interactive tour is great for finding your way around Overdrive when you come to build your own site, but I'll close it down for now. As you can see, my site has been automatically created using the content in Google Drive. Notice how all of the folders from Drive are now pages in the menus, and they'll stay in sync if I make changes in here or in Drive. And the contents of the folders has been brought across too. Now my distributors have friendly, easy access to the same files and folders we use internally. The brochures folder needs to look way better, so I'm going to use Page Builder over here on the pencil icon to turn the folder tile into a blog. Each brochure now shows with a thumbnail image extracted from the doc and the first few sentences of text. My colleagues can create new brochures in Drive or right here. And they can edit them in Drive or right here. My site design is looking a bit basic, so I'm going to use Template Designer to pick a template that better suits my corporate colors. These advanced settings give me lots more control over the design and layout if I want to go further. And now I'm going to find my company logo. And while I'm in Site Settings, I'm going to switch to the Security tab. I can invite users individually, but I can also allow anyone from specific domains to log in. So I'm going to paste a list of domains belonging to the stakeholders that I want to access the site. Now I'm going to choose the methods that I want to allow them to sign in. And while I'm here, I'll set up some groups that will allow me to restrict certain pages to the members of those groups. And finally, I'll set the welcome message that they'll see before they sign in. Now let's work on the home page, which is always an important page for any site. I'm going to use the same welcome text for after they've signed in. The assets folder is where I'm going to keep logos and other files needed for the site, and I don't need it to appear in the menus, so I'll switch it off like this. And now I'm going to use Page Builder again to replace the folder tile with some more interesting content. I'm going to start with an image box and pick something inspirational to brighten things up. Now as I move down the other tile categories, from Google Drive you'll see I can add folders and files from my Drive and shared drives, as well as content from other G Suite apps including Calendar. I'm just going to configure this to show my marketing calendar, which contains important dates that my distributors need to know about. Contacts, Maps, Photos, and Google Groups. From social networks, I'm going to add a Twitter tile. Overdrive is also integrated with other cloud apps such as Microsoft OneDrive and Smartsheet, and has a variety of other tiles to aid productivity, such as workflow, and collaboration, such as the discussion tile. Now let's log out and take a fresh look. There are the login methods I chose, including email address and password with automatic registration. And here's the home page my stakeholders will see when they sign in. And there we have it. a great looking site in around 5 minutes that will form the basis of my new G Suite powered extranet.
That's great. So hopefully that's given you an idea as to how we can quickly create sites and hopefully some of the features that you'll add into your site. What I'm going to do now is show you what a finished extranet site could look like, and also some of the features particularly relevant for that type of site that we haven't seen so far. And just a reminder about questions. If you do have any questions, then please feel free to ask them in the chat box. That would be great. So this is our public extranet demonstration site. And we'll send you the link to this site after today's session so you can visit it yourself and see what it's all about. It is created to show what an extranet site could look like. And in this case, it's for a fictitious furniture manufacturer called Sanford. For this part of the event, I'll show you a handful of the many features available, which are useful when using Overdrive as an extranet site, just to build on the previous demonstration. So this is the homepage, which is similar to the one we saw in the video with just some different features. It highlights some of the features which may be appropriate for your homepage, in addition to those shown in the video. And one of the great features of Overdrive is its ability to display content in different ways. So over here in the Insights folder, what I'm seeing here is a page which shows an embedded Google Doc. And here we take the contents from a doc and embed them directly onto the page. And in this case, we've added in a neat navigation feature to allow people to find particular pages which are relevant to them. And as we saw in the video, we can also provide the ability for our users to edit the document on this page without ever having to leave Overdrive if they have sufficient rights. It is possible to share other types of content with users on your extranet site too using Overdrive. So on our contacts page, we have and we're sharing contact information. And the contact data in this particular case is coming directly from Google Contacts. So here we see a list of contacts, and I have the opportunity to choose what information is displayed to my many users. I can also filter the list quickly to find the contact that I need. In this case, I'll choose Timmy. And then I can click through on the card to see more information about that contact if required. So this is a great example of how Overdrive can take existing G Suite data and enhance the presentation of it, as well as making it easier to share with my users. In addition to embedding Google Docs, as we showed earlier, we can also display Google Sheets in an interesting and friendly manner. In this case, we are showing a fairly simple price list, but it gives you an idea of how an embedded sheet can be used. I can quickly sort the list, which is displayed on the page, and also filter the contents, again, similar to what we did with the contacts. In this case, I'll just search for products mentioning Welsh, and then I can find the information that I want. And this is a very useful feature when using large sheets with lots of data. Clicking on an item allows me to display a pop-up window with additional information not shown in the original view, such as an image in this case, or other columns in the underlying Google Sheet. Discussions are an important element of most extranet sites, and Overdrive caters for these very well. As well as providing the option for including discussions on pages with other content, such as a document or an image, specific discussion pages can be created, such as this sale announcement one here. These discussions can either be public, so everyone on the site can see them, or they can be private and restricted to certain users. We can embed other types of documents on your extranet site too, as mentioned previously. So in our availability section here, we're showing a Google Data Studio report with a product availability. And this is an interactive report, so I can hover over and see relevant information which isn't immediately available. And finally, one more thing I'll show you is the calendar. And that's because it's often a requirement to share important dates and events with your extranet users. This is easily accomplished with Overdrive, as we can incorporate your Google calendars into the site. Here we are showing a calendar which is displaying some events relevant to the audience. I can change the view from the default view, which is monthly in this case, to either weekly, daily, or agenda as appropriate. And also, to add more flexibility, I can incorporate multiple calendars onto this page and display them together, which will be needed in some circumstances. So that's all I wanted to show you from the public demonstration site, just for now. There are plenty of other features available which are contained within this site. So I'd encourage you to visit it after the event to see some of the features we haven't shown you at this stage. And again, just a reminder about questions. If there is anything else that we can help with, any other questions that you have, please pop them into the chat box. That would be great. Okay, so hopefully that's given you an idea of what Overdrive is. You've seen it in action, etc. So what I want to do now is just give you a quick summary of some of the main benefits when you use Overdrive. As you saw in the demonstrations, an Overdrive site can be created automatically using Google Drive folders and files. And building a site is fast and efficient compared with traditional methods, and also no specialist skills are required. Many types of content can be transformed automatically into powerful and user-friendly web pages. And pages can be easily updated or maintained by editing the original file, either from the site itself or from Drive. This sync between Overdrive and the source location enables the site to be automatically updated when the content changes at either end. Now, just a quick look at the licensing model. Overdrive pricing starts at $1 per user per month, and we have a 25% discount available for education and non-profit organizations. The number of sites that can be created is unlimited, which means that your users can create as many sites for as many different uses as they need under this licensing scheme. We do have further information on the pricing plans on our website, which is overdrive.io. And again, we'll send you the link to that site after this event so you can investigate it there. So now I'd like to run through some of the questions that we have that have coming through the session. I'll answer some of the easy ones, and if there's anything more complicated, then I'll pass it over to Ian. So we have a question, first of all, from Sharon. Does editing directly in Overdrive update the original doc in the Drive? Yes, it does, Sharon. And in fact, it works the other way as well. So I've got the ability to edit a document either in Drive or in Overdrive, and it's a bi-directional sync between the two. So either end will be updated depending on where you are updating the document or the spreadsheet or anything else which you are editing within Overdrive. Can Overdrive interact with a Google site? Question from Graham. Interestingly, so we have in the past had projects where we're embedding Overdrive sites into a Google site. We can do it in reverse as well, so we can incorporate a Google site within an Overdrive site. However, Overdrive is mostly a replacement for Google sites. I think the only difference to that statement would be if you have a very, very well established Google site and you want to use some of the content, then it would be possible to pull that into your Overdrive site. I'm a G Suite super admin, it says Sharon, but can't find Overdrive. How is it accessed? Do you want to pick that one up, Ian?
Yeah, sure. The the best place to start is overdrive.io, the main website, and there's a link in the top right that says get started. But Sean will be sending those kind of links after the webinar.
Yeah, I'll also put in a quick call to action on the in the session here, which will show you a link. Just click on that link, and that will take you through to start the free trial as well. So that may be the easiest way, Sharon. Question from Mike, can the site be found in search engines? Yes, that's an option that you have, Mike, whether to have it indexable or not. So you decide whether you want it to be or not. Typically for public sites, depending on the content and what information you are sharing, sometimes they are publicly accessible and found in search engines. Sometimes they are not. But even if the site is found, if it's a private site that your users are signing into, then nobody will be able to access the site without signing in. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, one more question. Can sites work from shared drives? Do you want to pick that one up, Ian?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, interestingly, shared drives normally can't be shared with non-Google users. And with Google users, you can only share the whole drive, but Overdrive effectively lets you share shared drives with anyone you choose, even the public audience. So an Overdrive site can be based on a shared drive, a whole shared drive, or it can start from a specific subfolder within a shared drive and make the folders and the files inside it accessible to whichever audience you choose, publicly or colleagues or external users logging in with email address and password, or Facebook, or whichever.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Another question, is there a maximum number of users per site? Well, no, there isn't. So you can have as many users on the site as possible. As we showed in the recorded video, you can add users via a domain. So effectively, anybody on that domain can access that site. And also, because of the licensing structure that we have, it's possible for users to create multiple sites. So a question we get asked often for project type sites is, do I have one site for all my projects, or do I have an individual site for each project? And that could be the same for each client if you're thinking about an extranet. Well, the choice is yours. It just depends on the content that you're sharing, how many different sites you will need. But effectively, the licensing gives you the structure and the flexibility to be able to do it either way. One more question. Can I use Adobe Movies and other Adobe assets? This one coming in from Mike. Do you want to pick that one up, Ian?
Yeah, sure, Mike. Yeah, anything that can be stored in Drive will appear in the Overdrive site, and you can also embed external URLs. I'm not specifically sure about Adobe Movies, but if they can have an embeddable URL, then you can definitely embed those in your Overdrive site.
Great, thank you. Another question, what is the difference between an editor and a viewer? So there are two types of users. An editor is essentially someone who is able to add new content and edit existing content on the site, whereas a viewer just essentially consumes the information that exists on the site. So you can decide how many viewers you want on your site and how many editors. And typically, there are more viewers than editors because more people are consuming information rather than creating new content. But that's entirely up to you. It depends on the type of site that you have and your users, etc. Okay, I think we're kind of running out of time. So if there's any other questions that you have, we'll leave the event running for a few minutes. So again, just pop them into the chat box and we'll respond after the session, just so we can answer any questions that you have. So here are some recommended next steps in your investigation of Overdrive. You could create a trial site to try out similar features shown in this demonstration, and that link is still appearing on the site. So just click on that link and it'll take you through. After the session, we'll send you the links to our public demonstration site, including the extranet one we briefly showed earlier. So you can visit them and see what your finished site may look like, as well as sharing with your colleagues, etc. And if you have more complex requirements, we can arrange an individual call or consultation with either ourselves or one of our partners. And we'll look at your requirements in detail and advise on the best approach for you. So we'll follow up with more information, including some links to demonstration sites. But if you do have any questions, please just respond to that email and we'll happily help from there. So that just leaves me to say thank you for attending and thank you for your time. And if you do have any questions, please come back to us. Thank you.